make this a quick one. J.W. Bush spoke about the New World Order and 1,000 points below. Prince William is the 1,000th member of the Order of the Garter. It is the highest order of Freemasonry. The Garter is a representation of a snake devouring its own tail. That's Talmud Zionism, and it ends on the 21st of December 2012. Now, it was Prince Charles. So the Prince had to fit in with the agenda. So Lady Diana was artificially inseminated so that the birth would be as close to June the 21st, 1982 as possible. Now, William descends from Vlad the Impaler via Prince Charles back to Jesus and Mary Magdalene, she the twin of Jesus. Now, this is coming from the official records of the British peerage. Prince Charles is related to Vlad the Impaler. And he says, so I have a bit of a stake in that country. Would you admit to it? Goodness me. Jesus and Mary Magdalene were brother and sister according to the account of genealogy to Prince William. You can't rule out Harry either. So Mary Magdalene and Jesus were brother and sister twins of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. Now, according to encyclopedias and generally speaking history, it all fits together. That would have made Julius Caesar 100 years old when Jesus was born, June the 17th, 2 BC. Or you'd have to roll it back 40 odd years to make it fit, which doesn't add up with the 5,500 copies of the New Testament dating system. And Cleopatra would have been 98. Okay. She would have been 67 years of age. Would have been the oldest pregnancy in history. Now, A.N. Wilson says his research has confirmed in the 19th century rumours about the parentage of British long-serving monarchs. He claims even Victoria knew evil genius Sir John Conroy, the comptroller of the royal household, was her birth father and hated him for it. That's one version of it. In later life, Queen Victoria told the Duke of Wellington that one reason she hated Sir John was that she had witnessed some familiarities between the Irish soldier and her mother. She calls him the evil genius Sir John Conroy, the writer, comptroller of the royal household, but was her birth father and she hated him for it. Victoria was an intelligent, if not maddening woman. Surely she guessed or feared that she was Conroy's daughter. The old Duke of Kent, her supposed father, was well fasted by the time Victoria was conceived. Moreover, there is a family curiosity, medical history, which we now know and which sure requires some explanation. Victoria's grandfather, George III, what a monster he was, suffered from porphyria, a condition causing madness, flatulence. I've got a touch of this, I think. Itchy skin. Hasn't your skin been itching as well? And discoloured urine. Well, there you go. You got 3 out of 4 there. It is a hereditary condition that none of Victoria's descendants have suffered from.
Who are you talking to, Dad?
You know.
No, Daddy, either.
Oh, sorry. Wilson said there is another curious medical fact. We know Queen Victoria passed on haemophilia to her descendants, 17 generations of the family onto Queen Victoria's mother's side have been investigated by scientists at the Royal Society of Medicine. Not one has haemophilia. So it's hereditary, so therefore it proves that it's John Conroy, which appears to be very, very likely to be the one with the haemophiliac gene. Medical inconsistencies also suggest Prince Albert, the German cousin Queen Victoria married, was also illegitimate. Wilson said his mother had been dismissed from the court of Saxe. There's a fella in Australia who was from England, and they've already done a show on him. He's more royal than the Queen because the Queen's lineage through the Hastings was off in battle, and he come back 12 months later and he's got a son that's just born.
Yeah.
So the idiot thought, oh, okay, never give it a second thought. So they're idiots, right? Both Albert's stupid, lecherous, drunken and supposed father, the Duke of Saxe-Coburg, and his brother Ernst had hereditary syphilis. But there is no trace of this in the life of Albert, who, like the Baron von Meyer, was intelligent, musical and cultivated. Unlike his own Saxe-Coburg relations, he was also a pillar of family rectitude and martial loyalty. Tongue won't work. The reason for this gigantic genetic error must be due to the area where this was proposed and the genetic lineage manipulated. And I'm referring here to well, what's an expression here, not derogatory at all. It's called nigger in the woodpile. In other words, the nigger slept in with the mother. To the Queen, while her husband was gone longer than the baby's gestation, arrived home but too stupid to calculate the date of his birth, just conception. So this is because they're all mad. Now, getting to the point. To connect the Great Pyramid it is impossible, therefore may be inclined to arrange a location north of London for the 21st through to the 23rd, which is the duration that the sun will be above 51 degrees 51 minutes 14.3, which is the angle of the face of the Great Pyramid. And if you go to that latitude on that time there, the summer solstice, you'll have 1,000 minutes of sunlight. So they have to be arranging something around the pyramid number, and that's, you can see it there at that particular. Here we have George Bush talking about the New World Order and how William, he became the 1000th Knight of the Garter on Monday. Now 1000 also means one, which means God. So they're bringing forth Prince William as the Order of the Garter, 1000 points of light, and this of course leads to Lucifer. He was ordained or given this glorious honour on the 23rd of April 2008. Now, I married Lucifer on the 23rd of April 1966. 1966 is the word Lucifer, and that's a very satanic date. Now, there's the father of Victoria, and there is William, long nose, balding, high cheekbones, little protruding chin, and in another photograph we've got the hand is exactly the same as that. Exactly. And it's a bit unusual. The hands are a bit unusual. Okay, that's what I just said. Now William will be 11141 days old on December the 21st, 2012, and I'll put down here mine. 942. Do it again. 942 versus word Jesus. Greek dictionary. Jesus is 2424. You put a 0 out, add those together, and it equals from January the 1st, January the 11th rather, 1944, just joking, plus these two numbers gives you December 21, 2012. Okay, so there's Vlad the Impaler, long nose, same type. Now this is the painting, right? So you've got to make allowances for it. They have the same hands. He is a reincarnate of that. Charles is Jack the Ripper, the Duke of Clarence. So, 4328 days between William's 1000 points of light to December the 21st, 2012. This is 4.328 years we're talking here. You look that number up. Now this is the angle I was just showing you before in another slide we were doing, how the start, finish. Only went that far. And the sun rotated. We'll do it quickly here. There's Venus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's the distance from there to there. Back it back again. 6 hours. There. So the orbit should be like that. So in other words, it's gone up there, back down to there. Right? It's going to carry on, so it's coming across here, starts there, goes up like that. It loses that distance that it would have travelled if it had travelled across the sun like so. But it only travelled that distance in 5 hours. So in other words, to get right around the orbit again, to carry the same distance, it's got to do an extra 5 hours. Now, what caused that? Now, first off, you'll notice that this has turned around, the sun has rotated, and we see these lines here, they go 92.5 degrees. Right? And then we start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has moved that far in 6 hours. 5.55. 5 hours, 55 minutes. It's moved that far. But it's rotated 90 degrees. The surface distance of the sun, if you want to put the distance on that, which we did in another video, spells out from there to there 697,433.5, which is my name and God Almighty. Now, the other Venus transition, which is of note, is the Cook one, which was June the 3rd, 1769. We can go back with this program and look at these things, see what happens. So I am quite astounded that people are going for this Olympic Games and all that kind of stupidity. Well, there's kind of things going on, because the world, NASA will never tell you.